formally welcome you to our Sunday morning service. Welcome, everybody. We are so glad to have so many newcomers here with us. We welcome you all. Welcome to the oneness that we are. Welcome to those of us who have been here many, many, many times before. We're going to spend a wonderful hour with each other. I'm going to go through just a couple of announcements. I am going to remind you to turn off your cell phones and put yourself on mute unless you're called on to speak. Thank you very much for that. I want to pay your attention to the fact that, or draw your attention, I should say, that the lyrics and the prayers for our Sunday service are found right there. You see it in the announcements there, and it's also in the chat box. So you can click on that link in the chat box, and that'll take you to our lyrics and our prayers. Thank you so much for doing that, Kathy. And I'm going to bring in a couple of announcements before we begin our service. The most important announcement is Divinity is endlessly beginning, and so are we. Can I see some hands up in the air on that one? Yes, yay! Morning really has broken, and we are the morning. Hooray, hooray. Our prayer chaplain today is Beth Nyarek. Beth, thank you for your service. And if you would like us to create a breakout room for you after service, you can have private prayer time with Beth then. Just let us know. Wow, guess what? Reverend Doctors Bill and Cher Holton, and they're here with us. Yay! Yay! Not only are they our guest speakers today, but their class is starting this Wednesday. I am so psyched. This Wednesday, 6:30 to 8:30. It's starting this Wednesday, February 2nd. It goes until March 2nd. And I'm going to invite them on. Reverend Doctors Bill and Cher, would you like to take yourselves off mute and say anything more about the class?
We're just really excited about it. Today we're going to talk a little bit about universal prosperity and what that means, because it's YOU, universal prosperity, because
it's about you. It's about all of our spiritual growth, of course, down here in Skin School, and we take it very seriously. We researched the past 40 years of 95 years worth of New Thought literature on prosperity, and we'll share some of that over the next couple of weeks as well.
And it is also approved for SEE credit for those who are working on their SEE credits. So it'll cover the prosperity class for that.
Yay. Thank you so much. Yes, it's fantastic. $20 per class. And if you'd like more info and to register, the website is there and the announcements, and I think our beloved Kathy, there it is. She put it in the chat box. She is amazing. Thank you, Kathy. And the recommended reading is How to Achieve Universal Prosperity. And Kathy, once again, thanks for putting that in the chat box. And there's the book, Bill and Cher, holding it up, Reverend Doctors Bill and Cher. Yay, thank you. So next Sunday, we're going to be talking about spiritual fiber, you guys, and the digestion of truth. So we're going to take that metaphor and really work with it. Like, how do we digest our oneness? What is the spiritual fiber we need to do that? I hope you'll come in and join us for that. And we have a cool opportunity coming up. Get your Google on Wednesday, February 16th, 10:30 to 12:30 a.m. 12:30 p.m. or Thursday, February 24th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Yeah, I gifted this to the community because I really think it's something that we should be involved in. And registration's open to anybody, and Kathy has so sweetly put the register link for Get Your Google On. It's everything about how to make Google work for us in the community. Okay, so I hope to see a lot of folks registering for that. Are there any other announcements? Oh, I forgot to talk about the Sacred Service volunteer opportunities available. So we do have a lot of services, sacred service opening up. As you all know, Kathy is retiring at the end of April. And as she retires, there's a lot of her tasks that are coming up to be taken. And so you can email us at peacecenter@unityinthefoothillsct.org to find out what would be a good fit for you. We hope that you will email us and take charge of some of these tasks. And I want to thank everybody for your continued support of Unity in the Foothills. We wouldn't be here without your continued giving. We're so grateful to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Are there any other announcements? And Kathy has put in our PayPal link in the chat box. Thank you. Any other announcements at this time? Have I forgotten anything? Okay, I'm going to take it by your beautiful silence that I have not forgotten anything. Isn't it nice to see all these beautiful people here? And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get us ready to sing our opening song. And it is Gathering in Song. And as I'm sort of working with my technical things here, I'm going to ask you to rise in your consciousness as you are able and sing with me, Gathering in Song. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. There is abundance in our fellowship. This is a place we all belong. We place our trust in His great holiness. This is the moment, come along. We are gathering in song. Opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. There is promise in our thankfulness. We know that when we seek, we find. This is the place of our great holiness. This sacred space is yours and mine. We are gathering in song, welcoming the oneness, opening the doors of spirit wide. We are walking into light, starting out together on a journey through the miracles inside. On a journey through the miracles inside. Oh, thank you for singing that with me. I could feel your energy. What a blessing. And we are so very blessed to have our dear Weechie bring in our opening prayer. I should say our Reverend Weechie, our dear blessed Reverend Weechie, bring in our opening prayer. And as she brings herself forward into this sacred task, let's give Reverend Weechie our love and our light.
Good morning, everyone. Oops, technology. I'm so happy to be with you all today. Special love out to Reverend Drs. Bill and Cher Holton, my former spiritual leaders. Love you much. So I'm very excited about our service today, and we call this service Blessed already. So if you will, Please join me as we prepare for our opening prayer. Make yourself comfortable. This won't take long. And please assume the attitude of prayer, whatever that is for you. And as we do so, let's take a breath in and out. As we allow ourselves to relax in this now moment, with gratitude, we feel the one presence, the one power, and the activity of that power lives, breathes, and has its being in, through, and as us. We settle even more deeply into this awareness, and we bask in the glory of joy and the peace of the one presence, the one mind. From this space of oneness, supreme strength and power, we activate and reignite the blessings of perfect health, peace, and joy for all. From this space, we gather in love and affirm that everyone in this service today and everyone we're connected to, those who are with us live, those who will see the recordings later, that we are all open and receptive to the benevolent energies of divine wisdom. As we allow this wisdom to show up as peace, as helpfulness, as collaboration and teamwork, we allow this wisdom again to show up as perfect divine health in us all. From the infinite source of love, we know that this love is spreading throughout the homes that we're in right now, our cities, our states, our nation, and throughout the entire world to infinity and beyond. This love spreads as prosperity, as we are infinite creators of our own personal universes, endowed with the blessing and responsibility of good stewardship. As the infinite expressions of love we are, we have our beingness again as prosperity, as it shows up in every area of our lives, uninterrupted, freely flowing, and we are open and receptive to this energy. We declare that not only does it flow in, through, and as us and in our lives, but again, it touches all of those we're connected to and throughout the world. Knowing that there's no lack or limitation in all the universes, we breathe in prosperity in all its forms, prosperity now and throughout time and space. We are abundantly blessed and so very, very grateful. For this we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, Divine One, and so it is.
And so it is. Beautiful, Reverend Weechie. Wasn't that a gorgeous prayer, everybody? Did you feel that in your hearts? I am so grateful. Blessed Reverend Weechie, thank you so much. Thank you. We're going to take this forward now with our One Presence affirmation song. Now, for those of you who haven't been with us before, we sing our One Presence affirmation, and we sing it as a call and a response. And so what I'll be doing is singing the first phrase, and when I put my ear up, that means you echo it back to me. And I'll sing the next phrase and you echo it back to me. And then we all sing the third phrase all together. And once again, if you click on the chat lyrics in the chat box, you'll be able to see our One Presence affirmation song. All right. Without further ado, let's sing it. We say always, this is the cornerstone of our faith. There is only one presence. There is only one power in the universe and in my life. In the universe and in my life. The Oh, and thank you, everyone, for singing along with me. We're going to say our vision and mission statements together now. Centered in God, we co create a world that works for all, healing our world through prayerful living, inspired teaching, and helping others. And our prayer for unity in the foothills. We give thanks that God within us, and as our consciousness is forming our beloved spiritual community as a place of love, light, and peace for all. Thank you. And now is the time when everybody here in this Zoom room gets to receive a reminder of what we really are. When we were in sanctuary, this is when the little ones would come up and rub their hands together and remind us of the Christ we are. We call it a blessing, right? When we remind each other of our truth. So I'm going to stand as the proxy, not only for our young leaders, but for young leaders all over this dear planet of ours. So, these young leaders are coming from Afghanistan. They're coming from Africa. They're coming, and there's my favorite young leader, Alejandro. Woohoo, Alejandro. Bless you, bless you. I'm going to rub my hands together and hold them up to all of you. And this is what all the young leaders are saying. They're saying, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Good job, Alejandro. And now we're going to give it right back to Alejandro and every single young leader on our planet. We say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Oh, Alejandro, thank you for representing all youth all over our dear planet. Wow, you've grown. He's growing, isn't he? This is such a beautiful, beautiful moment to all be together. I love seeing your smiling faces. We're about to sing our greeting song. We like to do a greeting question after the greeting song. I'm going to be asking you all to answer in like 5 sentences or less. I think I'll give a prize to whoever can be the most succinct in their answer. I don't know what the prize is yet. It will involve chocolate, of course. So the greeting question for today is, what makes you feel fabulously prosperous? Right? And now, if you'll join with me in our greeting song, it's a beautiful one. We all know this one. It's Karen Drucker's Holy, Holy, Holy. Will you rise in your consciousness and sing this with me? Oh, we are, I am, you are whole and holy. Doesn't it feel so good? All right, everybody. I'm going to start going around and I'm going to ask you, and if you'd rather put your answer in the chat box, go right ahead. If you'd rather pass, you can go right ahead. And I'm going to bring in Lisa's response right now because she has said what makes her feel fabulously prosperous are her fabulous friends. And thank you for that, dear Lisa. And I'm going to now ask, you know what, Reverend Chris, I'm coming right to you. Greetings, welcome, Reverend Chris DeGiorgio. What makes you feel fabulously prosperous?
What makes me fabulously feel prosperous is the relationships I keep with others.
Bless you, thank you. And Marilyn has written, just being in the moment makes her feel fabulously prosperous. And Ellie and Rob, I'm coming to you. What makes you feel fabulously prosperous?
I think nature, being in nature, when I look around me and I see the abundance in nature.
Nice, very nice.
And for me, it's when I'm fully healthy and in great shape. So I feel blessed to be healthy.
Lovely, thank you. Russell, what makes you feel fabulously prosperous? Oh, you're on mute, my dear friend.
It's the awareness of my oneness with God.
Lovely, thank you. And Linda has written, the knowing that I have all I need in the moment. Oh, Linda, thank you for that. And Reverend Vi, what makes you feel fabulously prosperous?
Helping others.
Lovely, thank you for that. Beth, what makes you feel fabulously prosperous?
Fabulously prosperous in love when my puppies wake me up in the morning and they're licking, saying, wake up, mommy, wake up, we love you.
Don't you love that? Thank you, Beth. Thank you. And Jean Rogers, would you like to say what makes you feel fabulously prosperous? Oh, for some reason, oh, you're on mute, my dear.
My backyard, the birds and the squirrels, and I even have a rabbit.
Oh, nice. The rabbit, too. Thank you for that. Bruce, fueling, what makes you feel fabulously prosperous?
Oh, learning to unmute. Oh, aware of an inherited consciousness.
How gorgeous. Thank you for that. Thank you. Hi, Kathy Bates. Would you like to share with us what makes you feel fabulously prosperous?
Absolutely. I think just feeling the light streaming through my windows each day, it just makes me feel wonderful.
Wow, and we see that light streaming over you right now. It's quite lovely. Thank you for that. How beautiful. Liz and your partner, who's I don't know who you're with there, but Liz, would you like to share? Liz and partner.
All right, go ahead.
I'm Reverend Rich, knowing that I and God and I are one.
Nice.
And I would say for me, it's connecting with nature. And I've heard others mentioning that also, but connecting with nature and seeing the beautiful birds, squirrels, even foxes in our yard.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for that. April Marshall. What makes you feel fabulously prosperous?
Every breath I take and knowing that I'm not taking it alone.
Nice, nice. And Diane has written Feeling in the Divine Flow. And Kathleen Erickson has written When I Reside in the Presence of All That Is. Oh, these beautiful, beautiful answers. And Jean Tom has said Being with My Daughters. How lovely is this? Okay, Barbara Schaefer, what makes you feel fabulously prosperous?
Well, my beloved friends, many of whom are with us today. So glad to have you all with us.
Nice, nice. And Denise, what makes you feel fabulously prosperous?
You know, there's so many things that make me feel divinely fabulous, but I think the one thing that really hits my heart center is when I get to work on a client or work on a human and I get to see them wake up to a creator and the connection that they have. It just opens me up so unbelievably, and I feel so amazing. So I guess that's it.
Wow. Oh, I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Mariana has written feeling divine love in all its forms and perfect health, which we affirm for you, blessed Mariana. Wonderful. And let's see. Let me see. Jean. Oh no, I think Jean Wagner. There we go. What makes you feel divinely prosperous? Oh, you're on mute, my dear. Oh, oh, you okay? Can you put it in the chat box for us? Because we can't hear you. So we have no idea what you're saying. Okay.
I got it. Okay. For
Okay.
some reason, I went from full screen to a side screen and everything else disappeared, including all the buttons. So
Oh dear. Okay.
something just popped up and said unmute. I was like, okay. I feel wonderfully prosperous when I'm with my family and my loved ones.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for that. Moto, would you like to share with us what makes you feel divinely prosperous? And if not, that's okay. I'm going to go on to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, what makes you feel divinely prosperous?
My love for all of my relations that I offer and receive.
Thank you for that. Wonderful. All right. Excuse me, everybody. I have to move something around. Is that Anne? I can't see your entire name. Joanne? Julia Ann. What makes you feel divinely prosperous?
Thank you, Carolyn. Living in the present, in my loving community of friends and family.
Oh, nice, nice. Cecilia, what makes you feel divinely prosperous?
My connection with spirit.
Beautiful, thank you. Reverend Weechi, what makes you feel divinely prosperous?
Like others, I enjoy nature. So meditating in direct sunlight at my favorite park.
How nice. Thank you. And John, what makes you feel divinely prosperous?
Walking in love with people from all over the country and the world.
Nice. Esther, would you like to share what makes you feel divinely prosperous? If not, you can always put it in the chat box.
My relationship with my sons.
Oh, how lovely. Isn't that, doesn't it make you feel good to hear all this, everybody? Okay, Susan Brown, what makes you feel divinely prosperous?
Things, my family. And that sense you get when you walk out that first time for the day and you just kind of feel that everything is right in the moment, that it's all well in the moment.
How nice. How beautiful. Paul Furla, what makes you feel divinely prosperous?
When I feel love and compassion flowing through me.
Nice, Paul. Thank you for that. Now, would everybody help me out? Has anybody been left? Did I forget anybody? Put it in the chat so I can see. Okay, then it might be my turn. So what makes me feel divinely prosperous is when I put on my snowshoes and I go off into the woods. Such a beautiful feeling, and I love it. And I love all of you. And Reverend Weechi has also written, also being here with two of my spiritual families makes me feel divinely prosperous. Hooray. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Kathy, Kathy, how could I have forgotten you? Kathy, what makes you feel fabulously prosperous?
Oh, I would say the love and support from my fabulous friends and my relationship with my niece, Neela.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Is there anybody else that I may have forgotten?
We could share if that's all right.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot.
Okay. Because what makes me feel very prosperous is being able to do the wonderful spiritual work we do and to be able to do it with this amazing man.
Wow. Well, for me, it's being around so many enlightened people like you guys who kick religious dogma to the curb.
And yes, we do. We surely do. Anybody else? Have I left behind anybody? And I apologize to those that I had momentarily forgotten about. All right. Well, that was so cool. Thank you all for participating in such a a full-hearted way. We're going to sing our hymn, which is Our Thoughts Are Prayers. Most of you know this one also. And so please rise in your consciousness with me and sing Our Thoughts Are Prayers. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a place of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a place of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you for singing that with me. And we are very blessed to have our dear Russell read us our scripture today. And as he comes forward, do give him your love and your light. Thank you, Russell.
Good morning, Unity. Our scripture readings for today, Sunday, January 30th. The first one is from John chapter 10, verse 10. I have come that you may have more life and have it more abundantly. The second reading is a quote from Bill and Cher Holton. Never, ever confuse your net worth with your self-worth. You are an extraordinary divine being with unlimited access to the field of infinite potential. And so it is.
Thank you, Russell. My bad. I forgot to ask Ellie to read the absolute word. Ellie, would you read that for us right now?
Absolutely. The absolute word for Sunday, January 30th, 2022. World peace. I envision world peace. Sometimes I wonder about my place in a world that is changing so rapidly. I realize many of the world's people may be wondering the same thing. Then I remember my divinity. While the world may change, my divinity does not. Therefore, I meet change with equanimity. Feeling fearful or insecure can overwhelm feelings of peace. I wonder whether others are feeling the same way. As peace seems further and further away, I remember that the principle of peace is innate in everyone. The principle of peace is a part of my divine identity. I remember all people are fully human and fully divine. In our divinity, we are identical. I include all the world's people in my prayers, envisioning us coming together using our inherent principle of peace to manifest world peace.
Thank you so much, Ellie. Thank you for being there at the ready. And now we are so blessed to have our dear speakers, Reverend Doctors Bill and Cher Holton. We've had them with us before, so I'm not going to go into a long introduction. I'm just going to say we're so happy to have you here. Let's give them a big welcome. Yay! Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Carolyn. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we're just delighted to be here. We welcome some folks who have joined your wonderful community from our community where we normally meet. So if you're seeing unfamiliar faces, a lot of them came with us. So we're just glad to be able to join two fabulous communities together. So thank you for allowing that. What we're going to do is kind of a little different than a normal Sunday talk. We do spiritual cafes, and we're going to do a mini version of our spiritual cafe today, which means it's an opportunity for us to share and present with you, and then allow you to give some feedback and to ask questions and to share your thoughts. So we are going to be opening up for conversation as part of the process today. What we would ask is if you would use the raise hand feature when we come to the part where we're going to be participating, and you can get that from your menu at the bottom under reactions. There's a one that says raise hands. And you could just push that, and that will put everybody in order for how they want to participate. And that'll help us know to call on you. And Kathy, if you can help us make sure we don't miss anybody that is raising their hand or really wants to participate. Thank you for that. We appreciate your support in that for sure. We're also going to flip-flop a little and begin with our meditation because our preferences for what we're talking about, we believe this meditation process that we're going to do will lead us right into our discussion today. And our topic is how to have uninterrupted prosperity, not peekaboo prosperity. So think about the peekaboo game and think about prosperity, and that's where we're going to be headed.
Yeah, and you'll of course hear from us this morning during this 20 minutes, but and we expect to hear from you too, because you've got the wisdom we know that is worth sharing as well on this prosperity topic. So let's all begin as you sit comfortably on your chairs, on the sofa, on the floor. And close your outer eyes so you can see clearly with your inner vision, and just simply relax. And now move your attention to your next series of in-breaths and out-breaths.
And just recognize that universal prosperity means aligning your human nature with your divine nature, so you can achieve the health, happiness, inner peace, and financial freedom you seek.
It means bringing the poise of your divine nature to the noise of the world of outer appearances. Let me repeat that. It means bringing the poise of your innate divine nature to the noise of the world of outer appearances. So you can master the art of living in skin school by walking the spiritual path on practical, positive, and prosperous feet.
The important thing you need to know about the universal prosperity process is that your thoughts and emotions determine your inclinations. Your inclinations lead to your preferences. Your preferences lead to your choices, and your choices lead to your actions.
The law of mind action is one of the important keys for manifesting your prosperity. It involves seeking to divinely order your greater good as you contribute to the greater good of others by right of consciousness, and by using your innate ability to materialize what you want by understanding the environment you're in and taking prudent and timely actions.
So as you breathe in again and become aware of your breathing in and out, we invite you to think about the nature of several of your current beliefs in general, how your beliefs have supported your soul growth, and how they've impacted your concept of prosperity. As you reflect on your beliefs, did they come from your parents or your extended family, school friends, maybe your particular culture, educational experiences that you've had, your church, or spiritual community?
So peel back the layers of how they have and continue to influence your overall concept of prosperity and how they are contributing to or possibly limiting your overall prosperity and spiritual growth. How they may have helped frame the world of the old you as well as the current you.
We invite you to stop renewing your membership in old stale beliefs about prosperity, about ho-hum habits around health, happiness, inner peace, and take a slow in-breath and release it very slowly. And take this next statement to heart. Moving from an old, stale ideology about prosperity is actually surprisingly easy once you take the mental parking brake off.
Remember, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change the way they look. So give a shout out to yourself and to any of your loved ones and friends who've transcended a bottled up belief about prosperity and inhibiting mindset about health and happiness, a constricted bias about how to achieve inner peace, a closed mind about financial freedom.
And so breathing again and becoming aware of that breath in and out. As this meditation comes to a close, we invite you to recognize that getting unstuck makes you unstoppable, spirited, energized, even, wait for it, yes, even more aligned with your incredible divine nature.
Are you ready to move beyond any of your old, stale beliefs? Simply open your eyes and nod several times to let the others here witness your readiness to enjoy the benefits of universal, Y-O universal prosperity. Welcome
Good.
back.
Welcome back. We see your smiling faces and your nods. And one thing we'd like to do is briefly give the opportunity, if anybody had a big aha during the meditation or something particularly impacted you, is there anybody that would like to share anything related to the meditation experience with the group? Julia Ann.
I love this meditation. And this has been a month of release for me and letting go. And in the meditation, when you were talking about peeling back the layers of the old beliefs, I just peeled them back and let them go. I was letting go and releasing throughout the meditation.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you, Julianne. That's nice. Nice.
Interesting that when we hear people say, letting go, let God, Cher and I say, let go move. GOMU is an acronym that stands for God of My Understanding. Either way, it works, right? Russell, we think you saw your hand up.
Yes, thank you. I liked it when you were talking about take the break off. And sometimes we hold on to things and we hold on and we hold on. We just got to release that break. And that was a good reminder. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, we love metaphors that immediately create a vision or a feeling for you that will let you feel it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Reverend Weechie, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. I was very emotional, so I had to breathe before I could say something. It was nice to be hugged by your energy today, both of you. And like Julianne, I've been releasing too. And in the meditation, I remembered something that I remembered last week about my programming and how I was stuck and had to break up. And so I just saw it like dissipate in light. So thank you.
Hey, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. We have somebody in our group that calls that remembering.
Yes. Let go of the struggle mindset. I realized I thought I still needed to struggle for some reason.
Nice to let that go.
Yeah. No mas.
All right. So we just like to allow that little space for that because sometimes it really adds to the power when we can share with each other what that feeling is.
And you can tell by some of the things we had in our meditation, we call it medication, that it relates to the topic area that we're going to discuss, right now.
Right now. And Liz and Rich have a comment first.
Okay, now start.
And also, I see this in a larger context. I also see the laws of quantum physics, and I see the confirmation in a near-death experience as confirming all of this in a larger context, that we all are one, that God and I are one, that we're there, and I've been blessed with the love of this wonderful lady.
Fabulous. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah,
Thank
good.
you. Yes, we do. So as we embrace that and you think about what you experienced as you went through the meditation, we want you to think also, kind of moving quickly in your mind, to have you ever played a game of peekaboo with a child? Anybody ever done that? And it's really fun for a teeny little while. And then I want to tell you that we started one of those games with a child that was sitting in front of us on a plane once when we were traveling to far away, like if we were going to Denver or somewhere like that, that was quite a distance of a flight. And it was early in the flight, we started this peekaboo with the child in front of us. And after a while, it got downright annoying because the child wanted to continue through the entire flight. So my little piece of advice is be careful when and with whom you start those peekaboo games. But what made us think of peekaboo is that sometimes that's how we felt about the prosperity principles that we had been taught. And wondering if you've ever felt that way yourself, we found that a lot of people really had that same experience. They'd hear the principles taught in classes and get really excited about it and start practicing them. And sometimes they worked and sometimes they didn't. Sometimes they felt like, yeah, this is really fabulous. And other times it was like, what am I doing wrong? So we actually stopped teaching prosperity for quite a while and decided to do a real in-depth study of it to figure out what makes it a principle. Because if it's a principle, it's always there, right? I mean, we can count on our principles. And so what are the real principles around prosperity? How can we make them work? And how can it not be peekaboo, but be uninterrupted?
As I mentioned earlier, we, over the past, particularly the past 7 years, Cher and I have talked to New Thought, prosperity gurus, if you will, and also mainstream religious churches about prosperity. We've researched the wealthiest people in the world, all over the world, those in antiquity and those living today. And we've researched the last 95 years or so of New Thought prosperity teachings. And one of the things that we realized is that we felt we need to take another look at prosperity from our own point. And we realized that getting the information that we have from so many people all over the world, there are 4 things that people all over the world want, in addition to what you guys have explained. But when you group them into four main areas, people all over the world want these 4 things and will consider themselves prosperous when they get these 4 things. And so Cher and I thought, well, what would be a good prosperity definition for that? Well, our definition for universal, Y-O universal prosperity is this: getting your human nature in sync with your divine nature. Getting your human nature in sync with your divine nature. And when you do that, you will experience uninterrupted health, happiness, inner peace, and financial freedom. And those 4 areas are what we called from all of our research with people over the entire world: East, West, North, and South.
And so what brings it about is the ability to align our human nature with our divine nature. And if we could go back to the Bible verse that was shared this morning, where in John, where Jesus as the Christ and our teacher said, I have come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. From a meta-spiritual perspective, this just means that we have ready access to the field of infinite potential. We live in this field of infinite potential. We are a field of infinite potential. So it's like we're in the field and the field is in us. And when we can make that connection and align ourselves with our higher nature, then we open ourselves up to the practices of to achieve the health, happiness, inner peace, and financial freedom. Inside first, because it comes from the inside out.
And the word that Cher just used, meta-spiritual, capital M, capital S, meta-spiritual, all one word, defines our ministry. And the reason that's so important is, let us share with you what we mean when we say meta-spiritual. Meta-spiritual is the marriage between evidence-based science, faith-based spirituality, and metaphor-based metaphysics. So we base our entire message, folks, on truth and not fiction. That's why we mentioned earlier that we kick dogma to the curb, because dogma generally is fiction where most people decide to live there, and that's fine. But we would rather live in truth. And that's why we bring in the evidence-based science for about everything that we say, not only today, but our entire ministry.
So here's what we're going to do this morning. We're going to share 3 teachings, the way people interpret teachings of prosperity, and flip them a little based on how we rethink it and have looked at it in a different way. So there are several, but we'll cover those in our class, of course, in more detail. But we wanted to hit 3 that we hear a lot that never seem to replicate, never seem to resonate in terms of prosperity teaching. And we're going to share our version of what we think those should be. So we'll share it, we'll give a little around it, and then we'll open it up for you guys to either talk back or agree or share your experience, because we're open to hear what you guys have to say as well.
And we'll do these quickly, but hopefully thoroughly in the time that we have. The first one is, and I know you've heard this before, do what you love, and what will follow? The money will follow, right? Do what you love and the money will follow.
Have y'all heard that?
Well, what's interesting about that, folks, is some of the questions we had associated with that is, do what you love and substantial money will follow. Do what you love and enough money will follow. Or do what you love and the money will follow depending upon what you love. Just as teachers and social workers
And dancers.
and dancers and people in the
Actors.
arts and ministers.
Yeah. So that was one that we looked at, and we have changed it to say,
Okay, this is the long version.
and we call these our universal prosperity principles is what we call
Yeah.
these.
Okay, here it goes. Do what you love and life satisfaction, joy, a sense of fulfillment, enduring happiness, contentment, and inner peace will follow. And if what you love provides you with a financial security to continue doing what you love, enjoy it all the more. And if doing what you love doesn't quite provide enough money for your support, be open to a variety of income streams that'll help support your doing what you love, so you won't have to worry about money matters at all.
Deep breath. So it's not quite as catchy as do what you love and the money will follow, but it's more precise and accurate. And it helps you open your mind and your consciousness to say, how can I do what I love and still get that wonderful sense of fulfillment that follows?
And you want to move it, from possibility to probability to manifestation. And that's the whole point, the 3 steps.
So why don't we just stop for a second? And anybody want to respond to that or have some thoughts on that?
Chris.
What's your short version?
Do what you love and the money may follow. And if it doesn't, find other ways to support what you love. How about that?
And also, thanks for asking, Chris, because when you think about it, we're here in Skin School. We're on planet Earth. We are not from planet Earth. You realize that. Quantum physicists and cosmologists have told us that our entire biochemical makeup is not from Earth. It's come from out there. So if we're looking for extraterrestrials, we're it. All that being said, and you can validate if you want. That's the truth. What's interesting is how you can make that possible, and what Chris has alluded to when you think about it is not only to have the affirmations, the positive affirmations and the positive mindset and the optimism, but you've got to know the environment you're in and what are the rules associated with that environment, because if you don't know the nuances and the rules, you're not going to do well in that particular environment, no matter how much you want something. Does that make sense?
I would also just say the reason I asked that question is it was a very long statement, and to try to put that into a working model, you might forget 1 or 2 things, and your mind will get stuck on those 1 or 2 things. So trying something short to the point, in my mind anyway, would be of benefit to me.
And what's interesting, what you say about that, and thanks for saying that too, Chris, because when you think about it, when you try to change ideologies, sound bites are nice, but sometimes they don't get it, if you will, and it requires more languaging. For example, some of the languaging that Cher and I have used about the concept of GOD, which is probably obvious to you guys, that for us, that's an acronym. The closest we come to the anthropomorphic God is global omnipresent divinity as a soundbite, using the letters, but a whole different meaning associated with that because it's not anthropomorphic. And so sometimes the explanations when people are just beginning to learn things become more philosophical, and that's my bad because I'm a philosopher. And so, yeah, I'm working on that, Chris.
And you're right. Yeah. And I just put a little bit shorter, but not much. And in the chat box, because somebody wanted the quote, and it's a little different because it's our formal one.
Yeah.
We are also, and sorry for the question mark, we use a yin yang symbol for the O in universal, and the Zoom does not like that symbol. So it turned it into the YO into a question mark. But we are also going to send you it through the chat box when we're done with the session today, which is coming faster than we thought, a list that has all of this on it. So that'll be helpful for you as well. Marilyn.
Hi. You gave it to me before you gave me the quote. Thank you.
It's called that ESP. I mean, we're amazing. Thank you. I saw your message in the chat box, I guess, or somebody put it in the chat box.
That was me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, so that's the first one, and we are going to run out of time. So we want to do them quickly, but we also want a chance for you to feel them. So the second one is fake it till you make it. How many times do we hear that? Fake it till you make it. Yeah. And that one has always bothered us. The other kind of a corollary to that is act as if. And in our teaching, we have found people who were practicing that and they misinterpreted it to a point where they literally almost went bankrupt because their impression of that statement was, I'm going to act as if I have the money to do this, and I'm going to go ahead and get it because I know the money is coming and it's going to support it. And I'm not making that up. People literally ended up in horrible situations. And lots of other examples. So, we don't want to go from a fake it mentality because it just goes against all the authenticity that is the truth of who we are. So the way we have reframed it is faith it till you make it. Faith it till you make it. And our take on the word faith is really that's our first and strongest power. Of the 12 powers, everything is built on that power of faith. And even though we're running a little short, I want to share a quote with you. This comes from James Dillard Freeman's book, The Household of Faith, because faith is one of those words that's a little nebulous sometimes, and people aren't quite sure what it means for them. James Dillard Freeman described Charles and Myrtle Fillmore's ministry this way. And this quote's going to be included in your handout as well. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore were a man and woman of faith. In the word faith is summed up the story of their life and works and the story of unity. They did their works through faith. They soared beyond their works through faith. They were teachers through faith. They were healers through faith. They were builders through faith. They were overcomers through faith. Many, many times in the history of unity, they came to a place where it seemed that they could not go on, yet they went on through faith. Now, when I read that, I thought that was so powerful. But then I thought, well, that's great for them. But, I don't have that same ability. And what we decided to do is we took that same statement and turned it into a personal affirmation. So I want everybody right now to just hear your voice saying these words to you. I am a person of faith. In the word faith is summed up the story of my life and works. I do my work through faith. I soar beyond my works through faith. I am a teacher through faith. I am a healer through faith. I am a builder through faith. I am an overcomer through faith. Many, many times in my life, I came to a place where it seemed that I could not go on. Yet I went on through faith. Wow. That's the power we have when we faith it till we make it. And I'm always reminded of the story of Myrtle Fillmore when in Unity, and they had several crises times in Unity. It was not an easy path for them. Reading the history of Unity is such an exciting read. But there was a time when they didn't have enough funds to pay the bills, and they called everybody together for a prayer service, and they were talking about it. And one of the people said, okay, we're going to pray. What do we say? And one of the people said, let's pray that the money holds out. And Myrtle just stood up. No, she said, let's pray that our faith holds out. Powerful story.
Yeah.
Reverend Carolyn.
This is so wonderful. I'm just inviting you not to worry about time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So comments on faith it till you make it, because that is the switch we would make in that principle. That one will never fail you. Anyone have thoughts they want to share around that? I scared everybody by saying time, didn't I?
What a good thing about living in the present moment is there is no time, right? There's no past, there's no future, there's just now. As a matter of fact, when you look back through history, everything happens in the now moments.
Yep.
Not in the past. The past is memories, and the future is prediction. Nothing happens in either place except in the now moment.
The now moment.
Anyway,
we always like to say the present moment is my time zone.
Yeah,
that's where I want to live. And if I go to one of those other places, I have to come back with some baggage if I'm not careful. So I want to leave it there before I come back.
and very quickly before we move to the third one, and then we'll get to April. Cher had used the I am word as words as you substitute good quotes that you hear. And one of the cautions we have about using I am words is that just remember that what follows I am follows you. If you say something I am that's positive, that'll follow you, but it works in the negative too. So stay positive and optimistic with those I amness.
Okay. April.
And then Liz.
You kind of did it. I was going to respond on your faith it till you make it, because I really liked that, because if I have that faith, knowing that I am, that faith is going to carry me through anything and everything. So I liked that statement.
Good. It's nice and strong, isn't it? Nice and strong. Yeah. And Liz or Rich?
Along that line, Bill, what about the metaphysics of the lottery?
And go
faith, the metaphysics of the lottery.
Right?
Of the lottery.
Yes.
Playing the lottery.
Yeah.
All right. I have faith. If I buy enough tickets, I'll win the lottery.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, because it brings up the point we made earlier, folks. You could affirm something and visualize it and say affirmations about it all you want. And that's part of the faith aspect, okay? And trust that you can win it. And so you're trusting in the possibilities and in the probabilities. However, Cher and I also, as you heard, inserted know the environment that you're in and what that environment looks like. And if you would research lottery environments, the odds are really against you, 1 million to 1, 10 million to 1, et cetera, as well as other kinds of prognostications in the environment. So go for it. if that's where you are, if you want to spend money,
and you do have to buy the ticket. You do have to buy the ticket if you're going to win.
Right, that's the first step.
That's a step too.
You win it if you don't buy the ticket.
That's right.
Yep, but recognize the environment.
And that really is
in life itself. But in life itself, if you don't buy the ticket, if you don't get in life, it doesn't work.
Right.
So I'm pulling your leg a little bit with it, just having a little bit of fun with it. But the fun is, if you don't invest, you don't receive. You don't plant the seed, you don't harvest.
Okay, thank you. And that actually leads us to the final piece that we were going to share, which is the law of mind action, because the law of mind action gets misinterpreted so much that people think if I visualize this in my mind enough, then it's going to appear in reality. And so we just make a tiny little twist to the law of mind action, because the original law of mind action that people tend to hear the most is thoughts held in mind repeat after their own kind, right? Thoughts, I can't even say it the way people normally say it because we've changed it. So what we say now is thoughts held in mind with feeling and emotion. That's important. So it's thoughts held in, it's not everything you think about. It's the thoughts you hold in mind with feeling and emotion produce more thoughts with feeling and emotion of the same kind. So the law of mind action is happening in the mind, and it's really important to know that's the place it's happening. Manifestation is a whole nother law that we're going to talk about in our class, but the principle of mind action is that, it works, whether it's good stuff or bad stuff. If you're depressed and you give a lot of feelings and energy to that feeling of depression, guess what? You're going to attract more thoughts of feeling and depression along that line, and it'll grow. But if you have thoughts that are the positive of what you want to achieve, of the essence of what you're looking for, then that produces more thoughts, which then lead to your inclinations.
And we see thoughts as the voltage and the emotion as the amperage. And as you look at electrical systems today, if you've got wattage and voltage, but no amperage, what do you have? It's not going to work for you. And so the same thing with thoughts and emotions.
So we've reached the point where we probably need to wrap this up, and we're hoping that this has got your thinking. But we want to share a spiritual adventure with you really quick. And we did just send you a sheet that has all these things we just talked about. But your spiritual adventure for the week is to play peekaboo, but to say, peekaboo, I claim you. And the way you play the game is just kind of remember the whole essence of peekaboo. And when it feels like your prosperity is hiding from you, whether it's health, happiness, inner peace, or financial freedom, anything that's bringing you that sense of fulfillment, just do this and then go, peekaboo, I claim you. Because when you really play peekaboo, you see the fullness. And so we're saying, I claim you, affirming your abundant, uninterrupted health, happiness, inner peace, and financial freedom.
And just remember a thought to leave you with. Realize that since materialism is usually wrapped in horizontal consciousness, it will always be vertically challenged.
We affirm blessings and prosperity for all of you as you walk the spiritual path on positive, practical, prosperous feet. Blessings. And I'll turn it back over to Reverend Carolyn.
Oh, wow. How wonderful. Thank you for an amazing experience. What a blessing you guys are. Come back. And we know we get to see you this Wednesday night, which is so wonderful. And I'm just going to invite us, before we even think about our offertory for this particular center, let's think about giving back to the entire world. Peekaboo, I claim you. Let's give that back first. Let's give that back. And once we've given back peekaboo, I claim you over and over and over, then we can claim our time, talent, or treasure and hold it up to your heart chakra and say along with me, divine love flowing as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And now let's sing our beautiful peace song together. And for those of you who haven't been here in our community, what we like to do is put our hands up to the edges of our screen so that we feel as though, because etherically we know that energetically we can hold hands during our peace song. And so please rise in your consciousness as you are able and sing our beloved peace song with me. our beautiful prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is